All right, Chiefs Kingdom. Whew, we finally got it done. Not in the definitive way that I would have hoped for, but Kansas City walked out of Sunday Night Football with a 22-9 win over the New York Giants. Both teams came into this 0-2, and this was a classic get right game for us. I want to break it all down from the Chiefs' perspective, the highlights, the lowlights, who stood out, what actually improved, and whether this is a start of turning things around or if we're still a little broken. Let's get into it. So let's be honest, that first half was ugly. The offense looked sluggish again. Patrick Mahomes had trouble finding rhythm, the receivers weren't getting separation, and the run game was really just meh. We had penalties, drops, even a couple of moments that made you want to throw your remote at the TV, or maybe it was just me. It felt like the same slow starts that we had been seeing all season. And against better teams, these early stalls are going to bury us. So we have to continue to work on that. But the defense, whew, did they show up again? Russell Wilson looked really lost against our secondary. Two picks held him to under 170 yards passing, and Malik Neighbors barely barely touched the ball. What was it, like two touches, maybe? So we basically erased him as an option for the Giants. Nick Bolton was everywhere. Trent McDuffie, Jalen Watson held it down on the outside. And this is one of those games where the defense carried the weight while the offense was trying to figure itself out. And let me tell you, it feels really good to say that as a Chiefs fan, because if you know, you know. Eventually, the offense did find some juice. Tyquan Thornton was the man. 5 catches, 71 yards, and a touchdown. That 33-yard strike from Mahomes to Thornton in the fourth quarter, that was vintage Mahomes Chiefs, and it gave us the momentum that we desperately needed. So, what actually worked? First, there were no turnovers, and that's huge. Second half adjustments that actually worked. A lot of times, especially in the last year, we have seen the Chiefs come out of halftime with some adjustments, but they weren't enough. This time, it was just enough. The offense looked sharper, the defense stayed aggressive, and we finally controlled the game down the stretch. And mentally, this team needed this. Avoiding an 0-3 hole is massive for the confidence of this team right now, and you could really feel the sideline loosen up once we started to get that lead. But let's not sugarcoat this. We are not out of the woods. This was not like a win where I was like, oh yeah, we won. This felt so good. We're not out of the woods. The offense is still too Mahomes dependent. He's creating magic, but we need consistency. We also need more from the run game. 3-yard chunks aren't gonna cut it. And depth at wide receiver is still a concern. Rice is still out for a few more weeks. Worthy is day to day, and he didn't play, as we are all well aware. So we look thin, and the defenses can focus on Kelsey and Thornton and really cover them. We can't rely on Mahomes either to pull out a rabbit every single week. So, is this the turning point, or was it merely just a band-aid, y'all? Here's my take. I think that this was a step forward. It wasn't like a giant step forward that I really wanted to see, but it was a step forward. The defense continued to look legit. The offense started to show signs of life, and sometimes all it takes is one win to shake off the slump. So hopefully this is it. While we're not quite back yet, until we can string together multiple wins, start games fast, and prove that the offense can hum and run without depending solely on Mahomes improvising, there's still a lot of work to be done. So, Chiefs Kingdom, I hope that y'all enjoyed this, because a win is a win is a win. And it really feels good to see that W in the win column, because 1-2 is a lot better than 0-3, right, y'all? But the bigger question is, was this just beating up another 0-2 team? Or is this the first spark of a real turnaround? I want to hear your thoughts, so drop them in the comments. Do you think this is the start of something? Or are we still broken? Make sure to hit that like button if you bleed red and gold like I do. Subscribe for more weekly recaps, previews, inspirational videos that are shared via shorts every single day. And as always, go Chiefs.